Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Sunetra Sen Narayan from the Indian Institute of Mass Communication, New Delhi. Today we are going to talk about a module in this paper. The module is about the role of social media in society, and it's part of the paper on media and information literacy. After completing this module, you should be able to understand the role of social media, theories of social media, the impact of social media, both for good and for bad, as it affects society, and ultimately how the theories of social media connect to the impact of social media. As we are all aware, social media is the second generation of media, which is the offspring of the parent being new media. New media in turn has derived from old media. How is new media different from old media? Old media is also called sometimes traditional media to differentiate it from new media. New media is not just that it's new, it is now today a category of media which is defined as new media, being centered on devices such as the mobile phone or the computer, things like that. So social media is considered to be the second generation of new media, which is why it's called derivative of Web 2.0. So the second generation, the first generation being new media, exemplified by the internet. Social media is more centered on usage of the new media, I beg your pardon, as it pertains to things like Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or even social messaging platforms such as WhatsApp. So social media is centrally deals with the creation of virtual communities. When we look at virtual communities, we are informed by Benedict Anderson, who talks about an imagined community. So social media in some sense depends on an imagined community or a virtual community for a particular, it could be for a social purpose, it could be for a job related purpose, it could be for learning a new skill. There are many different forms of social media, but they have one thing in common: they are riding on the back of new media, and they use people to connect to each other in often seamless networks. They don't take into account geography, that is, you could be located anywhere in the world, you could connect with somebody located somewhere else. Does not exclude somebody on the basis of their age or gender or disposition or yes, money is a factor in the sense that it costs money to buy a device where you can connect to an internet, whether it's a mobile or it's a computer. You need an internet connection, whether it's access to a Wi-Fi area or to have a dedicated internet connection. So in that sense, money is a barrier. But over time, with dropping costs of devices such as smartphones, we find that in developing countries, more and more people are connecting to internet, and all through the internet, connecting to social media such as Facebook or Twitter via their smartphones. So in future, the trend we will observe is for more and more people to be members of social communities, of social networks, and to utilize this for different purposes, or for good or for bad. Only time will tell. But what is a trend is that more and more people are joining these communities, these virtual communities. More and more people are, so the aggregate time being spent on these is increasing. Social media and new media in general have thrown up a lot of novel problems, as well as having certain benefits. The benefits could be of connecting, of getting a job, or finding a spouse eventually, or learning a skill. There are many benefits of being connected to a social network. However, there are also problems. So theories of social media have to take into account the good and the bad. it has thrown up novel problems for regulators. A regulation of social media is a whole new area. It throws up problems of intellectual property rights. How do you assert a right of maybe your own creation? It could be a painting, it could be a poem, it could be a novel, it could be you could upload it on a site and it could be plagiarized and copied and it could be gone, before you could earn anything from it. So there are problems of regulation of this space. There are, in terms of problems, there are also problems for individuals in using social network. There are problems of privacy, of voyeurism, of cyberbullying, of identity theft, of financial misdeeds conducted through social networks. So these are some of the problems, the perils, the pitfalls, but there is also a lot of good. A site like YouTube is being used by many people across the world to learn new skills. It's being used for everything such as learning a language, to using that site to learn maybe a new recipe, connecting people in ways which were unimaginable earlier. Also, we find that old media products, such as old recordings maybe of rare songs, of movie clips, they are also being archived in sites such as YouTube. So the old is getting a new lease of life, again in a way which may have been unimaginable in a period not characterized by digital media. So what is the common denominator across all social media platforms? It's really the technology is the digital one, which permits this a recombination of old and new, and of different print, voice, video, data, everything, for it to merge in maybe one device or in one application. So theories of social media have taken both the good and bad into account, and they have also taken into account the connection to the older theories which looked at older media, and sometimes it's a continuation of the older theories, but sometimes it introduces new elements based on the technologies of today. As we've already discussed earlier, social media is an extension, or sometimes called a new generation of new media. New media can be considered, in fact, to be the parent of social media in a certain sense. Sometimes social media is also called new media 2.0 or 2.0. In every way that we examine it, new media can be considered the parent and social media the offspring. So if we are to understand social media, its role, its impact, its function in society today, a better starting point would be, in fact, to look at new media itself, this term. So what are the characteristics and the impact of new media, which is in fact a broader term than social media? It is an umbrella term, in fact. Social media could be considered under the umbrella of new media. If we compare the new media with the old media, new media is generally digital characteristics. Old media can be considered to be derivative of analog, and something like radio, the wave pattern which was analog, whereas computer languages of zeros and ones became digital, from which new media derives its essential characteristic. If we think of a device to explain new media, a person who's not familiar with it, we would start with maybe saying, oh, what device do you associate with the term new media? And mostly that device would be, for a lay person, it would be a mobile phone, especially in developing countries, or a computer. And but it's not only limited to the use of a device. The term new media also includes the interplay of media, technology, society, culture, politics, governance, and many other terms. In a sense, the term new media, distinct from old media, includes a sense of hybridization or hybrid media. So the internet is an exemplar of this hybrid media. The internet it's based in devices such as computers and mobile phones, but it also has the connotation of being a network. It also has, it's used for social purposes, it's used for work, it has user generated content, it has databases. So internet today is a very, very vast, it subsumes a lot of vastness within this very term internet. To give you a quick understanding, I think new media can be considered synonymous to be with digital media, if you have to look at one term as an explanation or as a descriptive. As we just looked at the parent of social media, which is new media, look at the smaller category of social media in terms of its the reference or starting point of new media. Social media today is become very widespread across the globe. It is a smaller category, still new media. It is centered on applications such as Facebook or Twitter or YouTube. LinkedIn is more to do with a work profile. It also includes some social messaging applications such as WhatsApp, which is becoming increasingly popular across the globe. To give one definition, by Hunsinger and Sefter, this is a 2014 definition. Social media can be considered to be, or the term, it signals socialization aspects of Web 2.0 sites in general. Social media are networked information services designed to support in-depth social interaction, community formation, collaborative opportunities, and collaborative work. So, conjunction of the two terms, social and media, it is the composite term social media is more than the sum of its parts, social and media. The media part of it has this connotation we are still familiar with of old media, that is of print or radio or broadcast or films or even earlier avatars such as books, whereas social pertains to conglomeration of individuals, but it includes the interactions between these individuals. So it's not only, one plus one individual makes it two individuals, it's also the interaction between them, which is, so social media has evolved today to mean many things to different groups within society. It has because depending on the application that you are favoring or using more, for an older person, social media could simply mean that grandchild would help them make a Facebook page. Younger person, it could mean that they are always checking Twitter to see what their trends, airing a short opinion, because Twitter is about short opinions, whereas Facebook is more like interacting with your friends or family. So when we look at social media, it means different things to different people. Sometimes that's demographic, depending on their age. Sometimes it depends on which part of the world they live in. Sometimes it depends on whether they're using it tool for an office tool to get a job, or sometimes it could be even something as simple as using it even for other niche purposes such as matrimonial or dating or things like that. Social media is the one thing that you can say about social media which is true across the globe is that it is increasing. More and more people are joining social media across countries, across societies, as it had a bias initially in countries such as India towards more urban, or maybe youth were using it more, but that is itself changing. It's also having a different connotation. I think in general people are maybe spending more time on it than before. So it has a connotation of not only more people are joining, but maybe people are, in terms of time also, more time is being spent. So I think we can safely say that in terms of a social media trend, it is becoming more pervasive in our lives, and it may become yet more pervasive in the times to come. So, what is the importance of social media? Social media users, as already discussed, are increasing day by day. It is changing the way in which people interact, both online and offline. It is being used for sometimes old purposes, such as maybe chatting with your friends, reaching a friend of a friend. Non-social media world, you might have picked up the phone and called your friend and had a chat. Today you may have that chat by WhatsApp or text, or you may use Facebook Messenger. So it is sometimes being used for old functions, but sometimes new functions are emerging as a result of technology which permits interactions seamlessly, which does not differentiate between geography, chronological age of a person. So while we find there are good things such as creation of communities for maybe work purposes, or maybe even for activism and environmental cause or feminist cause or something like that, it also creates problematic communities when they are based in hatred, or they're based on voyeurism, or preying on minorities or underage communities. It can also have problems such as invasion of privacy or identity, things like that. In terms of overall impact, social media it has also changed the dynamics of how people connect with each other. So it's changed the relationship between absence and presence in an anthropological or a sociological sense. Could be used in the workplace for virtual connection for work. It could be used in relationships to Skype all the time to connect with their children who are living in another city or across the world. So it also has the impact of negating distance. This is one of, for good or for bad. So this is one of the impacts or effects or the importance of social media. Characteristics of new media. New media on which of social media is a offspring or offshoot are inherently interactive, two-way computing devices or applications, and in general they incorporate some form of computing. So they are really a child of the computer age. Digital media also convergent. They are based on compression, and they can be manipulated in various ways. Now, what do we mean by convergence? Convergence could itself has various connotations. When we look at traditional media, there is print, there is radio, there is television, there's books, there's film. Each one serves a different purpose, and it's present in a different device. Your newspaper is present in a physical printed um, sheet newsprint. Your book would come bound physical paper. The radio would be a device which you could tune. The television would combine the audio and video functions, but again it would be there present in some form of a box. Film typically be watched in a cinema hall, or with a video cassette recorder. The films could actually come home and be watched on the television screen at home, which was an early form of convergence. These devices were inherently separate because radio itself used to be analog, or so there was not, it was very difficult to combine devices. Today, the computerization, by reducing all languages to the language of computers, that is zeros and one, rather than a waveform, permits various functions to be combined in one device. So this is one form of convergence, where today the mobile phone is used for print, it is used for radio, for listening to music, it's used for watching video clips, it's used for data, it is used for connecting to social networks. So convergence has happened in the device of computers and of mobile phones. Today mobile phones with the smartphones are enabling more and more functions at a lower and lower cost. Again, that is a result of Moore's law, where every 1.5 years you find that chip which is within the computer is halving in cost, and yet it is doubling in capacity for work. So this has fed into the technological aspect of what characterizes new media on which the social media is riding. So we have convergence. Compression is the technological aspect where you can, because of the digital platform, you can remove certain frames and you can use the same bandwidth for conveying multiple channels by generally digital compression. Again, you can manipulate the information in various ways. Convergence is not only happening at the level of the device, convergence is also happening in terms of, you look at new media and interpret it in terms of society, convergence is also happening at the level of consumption and production of information. Early on, you had a clearly demarcated an editor of a newspaper or a journalist, then you have the printed newspaper, and then you would have the reader. The feedback loop was very narrow. It was a letter to the editor. Today, in a new media or a social media also, we have the users themselves are generating the content, aggregating the content. So the old dynamics or the equation between the producer, the distributor, and the consumer, which is olden days we used to say audience, today it might be marketing driven in certain ways, we say consumer. So today those categories also are looking at a convergence because they are merging. The same person is producing content, putting it out there in the form of a blog or in form of a tweet or in form of a Facebook post. It is being recirculated, it is being recombined, and there is no clear division now between who is the originator of the content and who is the conglomerator of that content. This convergence is happening across categories of devices, of producers, consumers. So in terms of theories of new media, have to account for all these changing categories. Social media networks have changed the way people communicate, socialize, govern themselves, conduct business, educate, inform, entertain, keep themselves healthy or fit, conduct even their intimate relationships, because a lot of what was considered private earlier has now become public. So the divisions between private and public, the public sphere and the private sphere, have themselves collapsed partly as a result of new media and social media. Scale of internet and mobiles. If we look at the trends of expansion of internet, which is always held up as a prime example, new media or social media, we find new media more than social media. We find that as early as mid 2014, a little less than half the world population was having using the internet. So the penetration of the internet was about 42% in mid 2014. If we look at new other forms of such as Facebook, we find that it is a very popular form of social media, and in 2015 we had about 940 million daily active users. When we look at a device, now these internet is kind of hybrid, it includes devices, it includes networks, but when we look at categories such as a device, mobile phones, in 2013, while there were about 6.8 billion mobile cellular phone connections in the world, that was very close to the world population of 7.1 billion. So if we take a loose trend, we find that in 2013 itself, for every person in the globe, there was already about one mobile phone. Of course, this is not spread evenly across the world. There are certain countries with high amount of telephone penetration, mobile teledensity as we call it, the number of mobile connections per 100 population. If we look at India, then in 2015, India had crossed a billion mobile phones, and we were second only to China. Again, in Asia, India and China are the very two large populous countries, and both of them have a large penetration of mobile phones. But China has much larger penetration of internet users than in India. If we are to compare the two, while we have many users of mobile phones, the actual users of internet in India are much smaller in comparison to China, but that may change in the decade to come. Theories related to social media. When we look at social media, again, social media theories based in or connected to theories of new media themselves, which in turn are connected to older theories which looked at old media. So there are some points of comparison with older theories, and there are some points of difference as compared to theories which looked at traditional media. Basically, if we look at social media theories, we find that the point of connection with older theories is really the category of active audience theories. Now, active audience theories are themselves a category which came as a reaction to theories of strong media effects. However, there are certain theories which are old. For example, the global village theory, as enunciated by Marshall McLuhan as early as the 1960s, has come back in a way that it can actually be applicable to digital media. McLuhan, as we know, came from a theoretical tradition, technological determinism. The Toronto School looked at the importance of technology as driving society. So, certain theories of new media today and social media derive from this tradition, which holds technology to be the most important aspect in driving society or driving social and interactions within society. There are some problems with looking at theories of social media only through a technological aspect. Some other old theories, not as old as the global village theories, but dating back to the 1980s, we have the diffusion of innovations theory as propagated by Everett Rogers, which was first which actually first examined the spread of agricultural innovations Ohio in America, which was extended to look at effects of green revolution in other countries, including India. So it started from agricultural extension in education, and it looked at other aspects of diffusion of any innovations, and ultimately it was used in terms of new media and social media to understand the factors inhibiting the adoption of devices such as mobiles or computers, and ultimately the spread of the internet or penetration of the internet, or the rate at which people are adopting Facebook or getting onto WhatsApp or using LinkedIn or Twitter. So this bunch of aspects can be derived from the tradition of diffusion of innovation, which initially looked at agricultural extension. In continuation of the theories of social media, we have another set of theories which pertain to information society, as conceptualized by Chement and Curtis in 1995. And this has been a successor to the theories of industrial society and post-industrial society. There's yet another aspect of theories relating to social media, such as Castells, which dates from 2005, which looks at the internet as being a network of networks or some kind of global web, which looks at the interaction between communication technologies and social organizations. Theories related to social media also include one which is relevant to India, which has been propounded by Jeffrey and Doran in 2013, which looks at new media as a disruptive force, such as the entry of mobiles into India caused disruptions in many aspects of society. Regarding the link to older theories, we have uses and gratification theories propounded by Blumler and Katz in 1974, which gives importance to the active audience, which is again important for analyzing social media. Again, we have postmodern theories, many of which would argue that we cannot have one dominant theory or one grand theory, as local level or niche or small theories would be more relevant in the postmodern age. As discussed earlier, social media have given new impetus to the idea of communities, where offline and online communities are connected to each other. Social media can also be theorized in utopian terms when we look at concepts such as integration or empowerment or democratization or breaking the bonds and hierarchies of class or caste or stereotypes of gender. But it can also be looked at in dystopian terms, such as the digital divide, the gap between the digital haves and the digital have-nots, to promote hate or violence or pornography, to invade privacy, along with criminal activities such as cyber fraud and identity theft. When we look at impact of social media in India at the beginning of January 2015, there were only about 7 million internet users. I beg your pardon, there were only about 40 million Indians who were online every day. But this statistic is likely to change with the increasing trend of smartphones becoming cheaper and people buying more and more of those and connecting through them. India is also the second largest market in the world for social networks such as Facebook and LinkedIn, which is used more for jobs. Uh, New media, or the internet in particularly, have the potential to revitalize the public sphere or to provide a virtual public sphere which is used for political communication to a large degree. However, even in terms of social movements, we find that the Arab Spring in North Africa, or the Anna Hazare movement, which was against corruption, or even the civil society movement in India, which sort of centered around the Nirbhay anti-rape protests in Delhi, they all had a component of activism which came from social media and which energized publics to reach out and do things differently. Uh, in general, we find ICTs, or information communication technologies, have enabled the move from national and vertical information systems to more horizontal and international interactions. This has been put forward by Putnam in 1995, but we find it's increasingly true today also. ICT and governance is a vast field in itself, and today many governments around the globe, including India, actually using social media to not only to reach out to their citizenry to improve service delivery, but to garner information from citizens and to get ideas from them, and to make them also part of the development process. New media and social media have been utilized by special groups such as the disabled, or for gender-related issues. Health and education are two large sectors which have been impacted by new media. Social media is also, as already mentioned, YouTube has been used for learning in many informal and new ways. E-commerce is one large area of growth which is connected to social media through maybe marketing on platforms such as Facebook, or even maybe WhatsApp sometimes is used for marketing. This is a sub area which is called social commerce. So e-commerce has become very important in India. In 2015 itself, there's a large growth in this segment. Sites such as Amazon, Flipkart and Snapdeal did a brisk business in India, especially during the festive season. So students, let us now summarize what we have learned in this module. Worldwide, the trend is for more and more people to join social networking sites such as Facebook or Twitter, or social messaging platforms such as WhatsApp. The role of the community has been redefined in this era. Today, it is very common to talk about a virtual community almost in the same sense that people talked about a physical community earlier. Only the community no longer has a geographical definition now. It has a definition of maybe of purpose, of like-minded people, but it is not generally anchored in a sense of physical geography. Optimists may talk about the emancipating potential or democratizing influence of social media and how it can change, bring in the have-nots. But pessimists often talk about the problems of excessive consumerism, which is being promoted by brash advertising on social networking sites, or the surveillance of the state. The state is becoming increasingly aware of are the citizenry's interactions via, keeping watch on social media. And ultimately, there is also fear in many countries that the state or the corporation could use it for repression or invasion of privacy. Both these aspects can coexist, and the future evolution of social media depends on the context in which it is used. And it is very, very difficult to forecast trends when we look at something as dynamic, as fast changing as social media. Perhaps the only trend which is evident is that more and more people are coming onto these platforms, and the aggregate time being spent on them is probably increasing. Thank you very much.